Hi there, welcome back to the channel. Today we will continue to work on our project that is leave management system. In my last session, we started working on this application and we have designed a table, CDT, data store and constant. Today we'll create a new interface. I'm going to click on new, select interface, specify the name of the interface. Click on create. Next, you can use query builder to design a form. For that, you need to specify CDD type. Select the appropriate CDD type and click on generate. So form is ready and we need to make some changes. All the fields with the string data type will be displayed here as in the form of a text box. Date field will be displayed in the form of date, calendar, but we have to make some changes to these components. For example, leave type, I wanted to have leave type as a radio button. Leave status, I want to convert it to drop down. And we have to rearrange the label. So do that. I will navigate to expression mode. First, we will try to rearrange the label. This is going to be leave start date. And leave apply date. This is going to be leave type. I want to make this as a radio button. So just change the text field to radio button field, and radio button field we have to pass the right parameter here. We don't need this label position, and it expects choice value. Choice value and choice labels. And I will specify the choice style also. We can also provide a choice layout here. For choice label, leave type, I'm going to mention few values here. Sick, vacation, floating holidays. So floating, these are the few values that I'm going to assign it to leave type. I will copy the same value for choice lab value as well. will get something like this, leave type. Next, we will change the label of other fields as well. It is going to be user ID, and next one is going to be return to office. Next, leave status. I wanted to convert this into drop down field. So choice label, I will specify some values for choice labels. The first one is going to be draft, pending approval, next approved, next reject. These are some of the values that I'm going to specify for leave status field. Copy again to choice values. It is throwing some error saying that it the leave status cannot be blank because we have given the drop down value here. So we can fix in two different ways. The first option is you can place the placeholder here, something like please select the value, something like this. So since we have the placeholder, the error got fixed. But in my case, I don't want to have the placeholder because I wanted employee not to change the status. So that is why what I'm going to do is I will have a logic here. So if is null or empty, this field is empty, then I will default this value to draft. Otherwise, I will retain the value of this field. Perfect. So we are done with the leave status. And finally, comment field, I wanted to have it in the form of paragraph. For that, just come and identify the line number 90 here. Now we have to change the comment text box to paragraph field so that approver can add his comment here. Now we can update the label. I'm going to update the label here. Apply leave. Next, we are making use of this interface for supervisor or the manager. In order to make it a reusability, I wanted to introduce a new field. I will name it as is leave applied. This is going to be a Boolean. The comment field, the one which we added just now, the paragraph field for comment, I wanted to display only if show when I will use show when parameter. I will display this only to the supervisor. So if rule input is leave applied is equal to true, then I will pass true value to show when parameter. Otherwise false. What's going to happen here is if the leave status applied flag is set to true, then this comment paragraph will be shown. That means when somebody applies the leave, then this flag I'm going to set it to true. Since this flag is true, this paragraph field will be shown to the user. In this case, it's going to be manager. Next, we have to use disable parameter for this drop-down box. Again, we can use of if condition here. If is null or empty, rule input is leave applied flag. If it is null, then I'm going to mark it as true. I will also check if a bank leave if rule input is leave applied is equal to true, then disabled is going to be false, else it is going to be true. Okay. So right now you don't leave status is a blank. In case when someone applies the leave, this flag becomes true, then this field will be enabled. Also, you can see the comment. We have to make other fields read-only for the supervisor. So we'll do that. The name, we start with the name, and read-only field is the property that we are going to update. Instead of read-only, I will use is leave applied is equal to true, then name field is going to be disabled. I will use this property for date field as well. Leave applied date is going to be always read only. Radio button, we don't have a read-only field. Instead, we can leverage the disabled properties. User ID, I'm going to use the same flag. Return to office, I'm going to use the same flag. Okay, now we will test our changes. So in case if this form is used by the employee, is leave applied flag is going to be false. He can edit the name, user ID, start date, end date. However, he can also select the leave type. However, he cannot change the status and he won't be able to see the comment field. In case if I mark this field as a true, manager cannot edit any of these fields except the leave status and the comment. That part has been taken care. Now we have to set is leave applied flag to true. We can use here. We can use save into parameter, and we can write a bank save rule input is leave applied is equal to true. Again, we will test this. Initially, an employee can enter his name, can enter his user ID, and he can select the start date. He can enter the end date. He can enter the leave type, and he can click on submit. As soon as he submitted, all this is going to be read only. Supervisor can change only the leave status to pending, approved or something. Then he can add his comment. Now we have to populate the leave applied date, and we have to change the status to pending approval. As soon as the employee click on submit button, we have to change the status to pending approval. All the fields are read only except leave status and comment. Manager can approve and he can add his comment and he can submit. Of course, since we have not inserting this data into database, page is going to get refreshed and you will get the same value. Once we design the process model and once we insert the data into database, this should work. Now we can add a validation for the end date. We have the option here. I will use validation here. Now we will add a validation message for return to office date field. The first validation message is I wanted to force user to enter leave start date before they enter return to office date. For that, I am going to specify if rule input leave summary CDT type start date if this field is blank or null, is null function I'm going to use. Then I will throw an error message saying that please select leave start date. Otherwise, don't throw any messages. Okay. Throw another error message in case if user enters start date greater than the end date. I will use one more if condition here. If leave summary cd type leave start date, if this date is greater than return to office date, then provide the error message here. Please select return to then leave start date. Next, pass null here, and we will test these changes. In case user is not going to enter leave start date, instead they are trying to select the end date, please select leave start date. Okay, fine. And what if they select something like this? Please select return to office date later than the leave start date. That means I have to select after 31st, probably second. Okay. We have to make some more changes to the interface that I'm going to do it now. The first change is going to be setting up the label name. So here I will mention if rule bank is leave applied is equal to true, then I will update the label to manager's approval form. Otherwise, I will say apply leave. Since we are reusing the same interface for both manager and employee, depending on this value, we are modifying the label name. That is the first change. Next, we need to change the name of the button accordingly. We will change the name of the button label in case rulebank is leave applied is equal to true, then I'm going to set the label as submit manager's action. Otherwise, it is going to be apply leave. Apply leave now. So depending on the manager or the employee, label will be set automatically depending on this flag. Also, we have to make one more change here. So I will copy this. I'll place it here. And I will add one if condition here. If is null or empty, this is the one which I'm planning to check. If this is rule input dot is leave applied is null or empty, then I'm going to save this. Otherwise, don't do anything. You have to add comma here as well. Save these changes. That's all for today. In our next session, we will continue to work on the same project and we will build a process model. Thank you.